Hi everyone, it's Raylene Bartlett from RTO Doctor bringing you tonight's 30 days 30 tips, and it's going to be a very brief one this evening because it is getting quite late and it's a Saturday evening. We should all be out partying and relaxing and having lots of fun. So on that note, tonight's quick tip is in relation to RTOs and legislation, and in particular in relation to clauses 8.5 and 8.6 of the standards for RTOs 2015. And a quick link also to those CRICOS providers. There is also a link here to National Code 2007 Part D, Standard 6.7. So with regards to legislation, if you're an RTO of course being a registered training organisation, an RTO must be compliant with all legislation that affects its operations at all times. So that's not just in relation to the standards for RTOs, which of course are legislated. It's also in relation to all of your legislative requirements in relation to Australian consumer law, Fair Work Australia, Racial Discrimination Act, Equal Opportunity Act, Occupational Health and Safety or Work Health and Safety Act, depending on which jurisdiction you're in. It's always also to do with any sort of legislation that impacts your operations as an RTO. So, for example, if your training delivery is in relation to children's services, and you have to make sure that students have working with children checks, for example, and police clearances, anything to do with child protection, any sort of legislation that affects your RTO's operation, you must be compliant with at all times. Now, the other aspect of that, of course, is in relation to staff knowing what their rights and responsibilities and obligations are under that legislation and how it impacts their role. All staff, as part of their induction and as part of their everyday role, need to be informed of what their duties are and what the impact is on their students in performing or undertaking those legislative requirements. And that's the link between Standard 6.7 for staff and legislation. So National Code Part D Standard 6.7 is very much about making sure that all staff who work directly with international students on a student visa are familiar with their responsibilities under the ESOS framework in particular, and the impact on students when they enforce those responsibilities. If you have any questions in relation to tonight's quick tip, as always, leave a comment below. Otherwise, we'll catch you tomorrow for another quick tip, quite possibly from Perth Airport. We'll see you then. Bye for now.